In this video we will be taking a look at the aft centre console. Anyone familiar with our existing 146 will notice that this features an entirely different set of panels. There are also a greater number of them, as the FMS units and navigation display controllers now dominate the forward centre console. We'll start at the front of the aft centre console and work rearwards. Unlike in the 146, which has separate panels for controlling the VHF COM1 and COM2 frequencies, the RJ is equipped with two radio management panels, one for the captain and one for the co-pilot. Either panel can control VHF COM1, COM2 or COM3. They also have provision for HF radios, but our RJ isn't equipped with those. They are similar to what you'd find on the more common Airbus and Boeing airliners. Each panel has an active and a pre-select standby frequency display, but it's only possible to select the pre-select frequency, which can then be flipped to the active position. As their name suggests, the 5 radio select buttons allow you to select which radio you'd like to tune, and the displays indicate which radio is selected. The left panel, RMP1, normally controls COM1, and the right panel, RMP2, normally controls COM2. If a different selection is made, then the display will flash to indicate this, which is a useful reminder. It can be cancelled by pressing the button for 3 seconds. The displays are tested using the Annunciator's test button, which is found on the left instrument panel. An automatic test will also occur when they are first powered up. Pass indicates a successful test. The COM audio controls are found on the separate audio selector panels, which are located on either side console. The RJ is fitted with a different style of transponder to the 146. However, the functions are nearly identical. The transponder code, mode and identification functions are all synced with the simulator for online flying. The altitude reporting switch allows you to select whether the altitude is reported and whether it's reported by the Air Data Computer 1 or 2. The transponder select switch allows you to select which of the aircraft's 2 transponders is being used. The transponder that's currently selected is shown on the display. The traffic switch and range selector control the TCAS traffic, which is depicted on the navigation displays. The transponder mode selector knob and identification button operate just like on other airliners. Finally, a test button allows you to initiate a transponder test.
TCAS system test OK.
The RJ is equipped with 2 ADF receivers, both are controlled from this single panel. 3 concentric knobs for each of the ADF receivers allow you to select the frequency. Mode switches allow you to select between ADF and antenna modes. The selected mode is shown on the associated display. Finally, a BFO switch allows you to toggle the beat frequency oscillator, but this function is not simulated by Microsoft Flight Simulator. The RJ is fitted with a different style of brake temperature indicator to the 146, but again it serves the same functions. The strip style of this display provides a quick visual indication of brake temperature, with 16 coloured LEDs for each brake. The bottom blue LED is lit when the brake temperature is below 50 degrees Celsius. 50 to 200 degrees Celsius is covered by 4 green LEDs, and 250 to 650 degrees Celsius is covered by 8 amber LEDs, 60 knots. When the brake temperature reaches 750 degrees Celsius, 3 red LEDs will illuminate to indicate an overheat condition. The highest temperature that is reached is latched on as the brakes cool, allowing you to note those values once safely stopped. The latch can be removed by pressing the test button. The test button also allows you to initiate a test sequence as shown here. This panel can be used to control and monitor the flight data recorder. The Event button is pressed to enter a marking on the recording. The ground test switch is held in the forward position to force the flight data recorder power on. It's normally only powered on if the parking brake is released, any engine N1 exceeds 20%, or the aircraft is airborne. Fail annunciators will illuminate if the flight data recorder has lost power or has failed. We can test those by switching off Avionics Master 1 on the overhead panel. The Quick Access Recorder fail annunciator will illuminate if the flight data recorder is off. This panel is divided into two halves. The left half controls the engine life computer and the right half controls the emergency locator transmitter. The engine life computer stores data from the aircraft engines and associated systems for retrieval later by the ground crew. A white fault annunciator illuminates if a fault is detected. The Store Data switch is used to take a manual snapshot of data. The guarded emergency locator transmitter switch has reset, arm and on test positions. The ELT will transmit automatically if arm is selected and a G-force threshold is exceeded, as in the case of a crash. An ELT on annunciator flashes if the ELT is transmitting. The three lighting knobs are the only controls that remain unchanged from the 146, and they're used to control the dimmable console flood and backlighting. The flight deck door switch has lock and unlock positions and controls the mechanical door lock to permit or deny entry onto the flight deck. A not locked annunciator illuminates if the door is not locked. An auto unlock light illuminates if the cabin crew unlock the door. A lock failed light illuminates if the lock has failed, and a door ajar light illuminates if the door isn't fully closed. That concludes this brief tour of the aft centre console. We'll be bringing you more videos featuring other panels and aircraft systems in the coming weeks.